Namaste viewers, welcome to Gnanadegula channel. Today we'll go through some aspects of Mādhyamika. Mādhyamika is also known as Śūnyavāda. Śūnyavāda, it's a philosophy of emptiness. So this philosophy was established or explained by Nāgārjuna. This is a major school of Buddhist philosophy. Śūnyavāda, Mādhyamika philosophy is a major, there are a lot of followers of this Mādhyamika school of philosophy. This Nāgārjuna philosopher, he was living during the 2nd century, common era, what we call as common era. He was living during the 2nd century. It focuses on, the concept here is emptiness, Śūnya. That means all phenomena, whatever you see, whatever things that you observe, they are devoid of inherent independent existence. This is Śūnyavāda. So some of the important concepts in Mādhyamika are Śūnyatā. Śūnyatā means emptiness, nothing there. This is the central idea in the Mādhyamika. According to this philosopher Nāgārjuna, everything is svabhāvatah empty. Svabhāva is existence or self-nature. Everything is svabhāvatah empty. That means whatever you see, whatever object, whatever phenomena we observe, it does not have an independent, unchanging essence. Then only exists in relation to other things and are interdependent. See, like Śūnyavāda means nothing. See, it is all related to another things. They are all interdependent. This is a little tricky way of explaining. So let's go through some illustration. Now imagine a flower. On its own, the flower cannot be said to exist independently. That means it is made up of certain other ingredients like petals, stem, sometimes leaves, like this. And even the soil, water and sunlight in which it grows, all these things are combined together, they form a flower. If you remove any of these components, the flower does not exist. It ceases to exist as a flower. Thus, the flower is not independently existing, but is dependent on many conditions. So there is one more aspect. It's called as pratitya samutpada. That means dependent origination. See, this Nāgārjuna's philosophy, it builds on the concept of dependent origination. Pratitya samutpada. Pratitya samutpada. This states that everything arises in dependence on other factors. That means nothing is on its own, it cannot exist. It's all relative. Everything is related. everything is interconnected. That is how it is to be understood. See, any object, think of a cloud. A cloud does not exist without moisture. A cloud does not exist without temperature. A cloud does not form its own without air and other environmental factors. Without this, cloud cannot be formed. If any one of these factors change, the cloud disappears. This illustrates that the cloud exists only in dependence on multiple causes and conditions. Now, he explains what is called as two truths doctrine. So, that means there are two types, two layers, two levels of truth. One is samvrutti satya, that means conventional truth. It refers to the everyday reality that we perceive and use to function in this world. It includes objects, persons, and all phenomena that appear to exist. Everything that we observe, that is conventional type. Now, ultimate is the other thing. That is called as paramartha satya. It refers to a more deeper reality. That is, all things are empty of inherent existence. From the perspective of ultimate truth, nothing exists as we perceive it. This is how it is. It can be understood with an illustration. Now consider a mirage, what we call water in a desert, water appearing like water in a desert. The mirage appears to be water. When you look at a distance, as if something is flowing, water is flowing there, big river is flowing, a big stream is flowing there. But a closer observation of that, there is no water. It's only a illusion. So, from the conventional truth perspective, the mirage seems real, that it flow and all those things. But from the absolute truth point, ultimate truth, the water is empty of inherent existence. Water is not there. So this is how it should be understood. Now, Mādhyamika means it comes from the word middle way. Mādhyamika, Madhya. Or it can be through something, in the central, middle way. So here the concept is that it avoids both extremes. That is, both extremes of eternalism, believing that things have a permanent, unchanging essence. That is one. The nihilism, that is believing that nothing exists at all. It is in between that. He argues that emptiness is neither existence nor non-existence. It is the middle way, where things exist in relation to others, but they do not have an independent essence. Independently they cannot exist. So now, modern example, if you have to give, think of a car. It's not just a random collection of parts, nor is it something eternally existing entity. It functions, it is operative, it moves only because of the relationship between the parts. All things, put together, it moves. Engine, wheels, seat, etc. And the car is not an eternal thing, nor is it completely non-existent. It has a conditional existence. Because of all the other things are there, it is existence. Like that, we have to understand. So, his Nāgārjuna's argument for emptiness would be, he used to have logical arguments, very famously logical arguments, to show the emptiness of all phenomena. He explained that if something had an inherent nature, it would be unchanging and independent, if it is inherent in itself. However, upon closer inspection, all things depend on other things, and thus they are empty of self-nature. Like, if there were an independent self, it would have to exist permanently and unchanging. However, our bodies, minds, experiences, everything are constantly changing. They are never same. So because they change because they depend on external factors which also keep changing, such as nutrition, environment, experiences, all these things, they keep changing. That's why human body, mind, everything also, they are constantly changing. So here that means there is no self, there is no independent self that exists permanently or inherently. Now, some of the concepts of self absence of self nature. That is some philosophical point, and if you have to think, svabhāva, that means svabhāva, self nature is not there, absence. All things lack inherent existence and are interdependent. They are empty of any self nature. The next thing is emptiness as liberation. If you understand the emptiness of all things, that leads to freedom from attachment, that leads to freedom from suffering, that leads to freedom from illusion. So, by seeing that things do not have a permanent, unchanging essence, one can move beyond clinging and achieve liberation. You need not cling to certain things, and then you can achieve liberation. This is what the philosophical point here. And here, one more thing is role of wisdom also, prajna. What is prajna? Prajna is the ability to perceive the emptiness of phenomena. This insight is crucial for attaining enlightenment. So now, if you want to give some kind of a modern example, you watch a movie that can illustrate the concept of emptiness when we watch. So when we are watching a film, we are aware of the images and sounds that appear on the screen. They keep on appearing there. However, all those images are made up of some looking bright, light, color, shapes, and they keep moving. None of which are independent existence outside the screen. Outside the screen, they are not existence. If you remove the light, it is not there. If you remove that color, shape, everything goes up. The film's reality or the appearance is only apparent and dependent on the whatever that is being projected on the screen and the viewer. Viewer also, he sees through the screen. Thus, the movie exists only as an experience which is created by other factors which are all interdependent, like projector, film, seer, screen, all those things. Even in case of the mirage also, in the desert, it appears that there is some water, but it is an illusion. So from the perspective of the conventional truth, the mirage is real. But from the perspective of ultimate truth, you have been seeing water there. But the truth is, there is no water there. It is empty because it lacks an independent existence. So this appearance is on account of the light, the refraction of light, so many other factors. There is no real factor. It is simply a projection of light and perception. So Nāgārjuna's Mādhyamika philosophy of emptiness teaches that reality is not fixed or independent. It is a dynamic, interdependent web of phenomena, all of which are empty of inherent nature. By understanding this emptiness, we can transcend attachment, reduce suffering, and gain a deeper, liberating wisdom. So this view challenges how we conventionally perceive the world and encourages a profound shift in understanding reality. One that leads it to greater peace and insight in Buddhist. This is a Buddhist practice. This is a Buddhist view of the Buddhist philosophy. So viewers, with this explanation on Nāgārjuna's Mādhyamika philosophy, we conclude this episode. I hope the explanation was quite useful. As a mark of your having heard this, I request you to please like, share, and then subscribe to my channel. Thank you, viewers, for your valuable time.